Your words, how do they repeatedly affect your relationships? Or why are they so important? Because words matter. Bible talks about death and life and the power of the tongue. And when we're talking about life in her words, it isn't just what she says out, it's the words that are forming within her, that are informing her actions, that are informing what she's saying. So when it comes to the relationships that we are in, the words that we speak repeatedly affect it. They can either nurture it, or they can actually cause it to disintegrate. So the words are so important, and not just words that you say out because it seems nice to say so, or whatever, or based on your emotions, but rather, more importantly, the words that we are saying within that are informing how we behave.
The Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Now, when we say the mouth speaks, the mistake we make in interpreting the scripture is to think the mouth only speaks to others, but the mouth also speaks to you. You're saying something to yourself. There are internal conversations that are going on. There are internal dialogues. There are things you're saying to yourself. And before you know it, what you are saying to yourself, you start saying it out. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what you've been thinking about, processing, telling yourself, in those unguarded moments within you, for instance, there was once, I was in a session, and a woman kept on repeating, "I know I'm rotten. I know I'm an immoral woman. I know I'm rotten." I heard it more than 7-8 times. I know I'm rotten. I had to question it. Why do you say that about yourself? Why do you repeat that? You've said it more than a few times in the last 20 minutes. Why do you keep saying that about yourself? And I had to probe it to find out that she did something many years ago, which she wasn't proud of. And the action, the improper action or the proper behavior, whatever it is that she did, has framed how she defined herself. And guess what? Now, because she sees herself as rotten, she tells herself she's rotten, she's immoral, the conclusion is that she doesn't deserve a good man, or she doesn't deserve to be treated well. Because if I'm broken, then, it's not your fault if you break me further. If I'm already broke, if I'm already rotten, it's not your fault if you treat me rotten. So she began to accept things that she shouldn't accept. In fact, she was in the most abusive marriage at the time. And she was taking in things that, my goodness, any right-thinking woman would not take. Because her internal words to herself were damaging her. And she didn't even realize it, that for the last 10 years, she was damaging herself by what she repeated to herself. And there are a lot of women who, maybe because of upbringing or things they did as a teenager, and now they feel, I am useless, I don't deserve a good man. In fact, I'm even lucky to have somebody, greeting me, so I will manage him. Having somebody is better than having nobody. And if this somebody is a derelict, this somebody is irresponsible, this somebody is abusive, and you are in an abusive camps, it's still the same thing. The same pattern keeps repeating itself. Different men, the same conversation. Different men, the same behavior. So you find what is really going on, it's deeper than what's on the surface. What you are saying to yourself are words that are shaped in people around you. And we say it all the time, broken people break others. So if you keep breaking yourself, you will end up breaking other people around you.
The foundations of our relationships are the questions we actually ask ourselves, or the questions that we permit within ourselves. And so when you ask those questions, whether internally or to the partner you have, you begin to define what that relationship is. An example would be for a woman who's seeing something happen in her relationship, but she's afraid to actually ask the right questions, or she's not asking of herself what are the right questions. We talk about so many things, red flags and all of that, but she doesn't ask herself the right questions. And because she doesn't ask herself the right questions, she doesn't get the way to begin to determine if that relationship is actually going forward, or it is stagnant, or there can be a change that can be there. So the questions we ask ourselves determine how that relationship will go. Because when you sit down with somebody, your partner, you're able to articulate and ask the right questions. You might be able to get that relationship to come to the right place it's supposed to be going. But when you're afraid to do that, maybe you feel, oh, if I do so, they can leave me. You remain in a relationship that is not serving you properly, or not even serving the other person. One of the things that even women, find themselves in is that they believe attention is intention. You already have some form of attention, and you begin to build so many things on it. You've not taken the time to ask, is this really an intent? Does he have an intention, or what is his intention with this attention? And you've built, and then you go ahead and begin to follow a sequence of actions, which becomes your pattern. And it might be a different relationship, might be a different person, but you follow the same pattern, you follow the same sequence. So because of the questions you are asking, you end up forming a sequence of how you relate. And when your relationships come out the same way as it appears, maybe they don't end up well, or it starts well and then it fizzles. It's the sequence of actions that you have put in by the questions you were asking yourself,
or not asking yourself,
So
let me come in there. This, what you just said right now, my dear wife, you will get a treat for dropping that bomb. Attention versus intention. You can't assume because a guy is love bombing you that it's saying something. You can't say what he is not saying.
Yes.
And many men know that some women are very scared to ask the right questions, so they use attention to get what they're looking for. And now the woman is building castles on attention without asking the questions. What is this? Where are we going? Why are you buying all these expensive gifts? Please, sister, ask the right questions. Don't make an assumption. Because he bought you dinner yesterday, because then you already imagine that you're his wife. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Yeah, because he bought you a nice dress at your birthday, you already imagine that you are already, his wife. He's paid lobola. He has taken you to church. Why are you like this? Stop it.
The why you are like this, actually, sometimes is not necessarily because you want to be like that.
100%.
It's because of the things you've been exposed to. It's because you have not questioned it. It's also because you don't know better. And so because you don't know better, you will be like that. And then the result you will get is that the people, or rather somebody else, can take advantage of it.
In fact, not somebody, people, series of men. Sure.
And then you say, okay, I won't do this again. Maybe it's this type of man. You go for another type of man. You will have the same sequence of things happening because you have not checked what are the questions I'm asking of myself. What am I ready to actually ask the important questions? What are those important questions?
And why are you scared to ask the question?
What are those important questions I'm supposed to ask? Clarity is important. Unambiguity
is important.
When you want to maintain something that is unambiguous, you get hot at the end. When you take the time to define clarity, to have those questions. Because what you're saying is that I'm good enough to have the right person in front of me.
Yes.
You are telling yourself, because a lot of times, the reason why I will say I will lose him is because you've not defined that I'm good enough for whoever. So whoever I should be able to ask you those questions. And I'm not saying it happens overnight. It's a process you go through that helps you come to that place where you then determine that the questions
go on. You are shooting nice.
Questions I ask are important because it helps me clarify where we are going. I don't go ahead and invest emotions. A woman, like you said, attention now makes you feel this is what he's saying. And you begin to invest your emotions. You begin to invest your resources. You begin to build castles.
Why are you leaving the one? You begin to invest your body.
You begin to invest your body.
What's
you
wrong with you,
connected. And the moment you allow that to happen, you have clouded your judgment. You have thoroughly clouded it. Even before that happens, actually, if your heart is gone, you've clouded it, you've clouded your ability to ask the right question.
And when there's abuse afterwards, you can't even say no.
You can't, because you've gone ahead of you. So there are some things you will need to begin to do differently. And this month of August, for the women out there's some women who are out there who are saying, every other aspect of my life seems to be going well. I have control, I have charge. However, but in this issue of relationships, it looks like, oh, God, what are you doing? Yeah. It's that you need to begin to ask some questions of yourself first and foremost. The past 2-3 relationships I've had, what is common? Why did I get attracted to this person? What then did I begin to do? You need to ask those questions. What I want to put out this morning is that part of how we are going to begin to sort that question out is something that comes up in a book that I have written to attend to some of those.
Pastor Toyin, congratulations.
Yes, because of these questions you've just said. Very true. There's so many single women who believe other aspects of their lives are working, but this relationship issue is a huge issue. And like we've rightly said, there's life in the power of her words, and there's life in the fact that she's asking the proper questions. So to get right to it, just send us a message on this number 062-520-20 to get access to this book, The Relationship Pattern Reset.
062-520-2020.